A third approach that can be used to solve quadratics is using the quadratic formula, where x is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And when you're looking at this, you've got to think about the coefficient of the, I'm going to say x squared and then the x to the first, and that's a, that's b, and then you need to set this equal to 0, and then that's your c. But it can be x to the fourth x squared. It can be x to the sixth x cubed. It can be x to the eighth x to the fourth. It can be x to the seventh x to the 3.5, and you can apply this. And this piece right here is the half value. It's the middle term. So if that's x to the fourth and that's x squared, then that piece is x squared, which means there's some additional steps to follow. Or that will follow. But let's just tackle this for right now. So first we set it equal to 0. So we have 9x squared plus 8x minus 5. Your a is 9, your b is 8, and your c is negative 5. And what these really are places. So wherever the letter b sits, the 8 will go. Wherever the letter A sits, the 9 will go. Wherever the C sits, the negative 5 will go. So it'll look like this. The negative is part of the formula. And so the 8 will pop here and pop here. And notice I put the parentheses around it, sort of to avoid confusion, but also to make me think, oh, these are just the places that stuff gets put. The a is 9, so the a goes there, and then c is negative 5. So that's going to be 64. That 8 just becomes negative, so I have negative 8 plus or minus the square root of. There's my 64. Now, negative 5 times negative 4 is a positive 20. 20 times 9 is my 180. And then 2 times 9 is my 18. These add to 244, and the square root of 244 is 12. So I have negative 8 plus or minus 12 over 18. And so I look at it, and I go, all right, negative 8 plus 12 is going to give me 4 over 18. And then negative 8 minus 12 gives me negative 20 over 18. And then I go ahead and I reduce. And then I put them in order in my solution set from left to right. So negative 10 ninths, or you might write negative 1 and 1 ninth, and then 2 ninths. Okay. Well, what happens if you have a set of fractions? Same difference. Just have to be willing to deal with the fraction work. So we take the 1/2, bring it over. Again, we're setting it equal to 0. And in class, if you guys ask, I'll show you how the quadratic gets formed and really why we need that 0 there. So the a is 3/4, the b is negative 1/4, and then the c is negative 1/2. All right, and again, we're just looking at it like it's a template. So wherever the b is where the value for b goes. And so that negative that's out there is part of the formula. This negative 1/4 is the value that gets put in. So you'll notice it gets put in parentheses. So I have negative 1/4. That makes the positive 1/4. I have negative 1/4 squared, which is a positive 1/16. Now, I have 4 times a times c. Well, a is 3/4. There's my 3/4, and I put it down there as well. And then my c is negative 1/2. Well, I put the negative 1/2. So a negative multiplied by a negative gets me a positive. I start canceling, so the 4's will cancel. So I end up with a 3 over 2. You multiply straight across. You go 3 times 1, and you have 1 times 2, so there's my 3 over 2. Well, this is 1 over 16. Need to get a common denominator, so I'm going to multiply top and bottom of this fraction by 8. So I have 1 over 16 plus 24 over 16, and the rest of the stuff I'm just traveling along and keeping it with the work I'm doing. Well, you add the top, so you have 25 over 16. So now you have 1/4 plus or minus the square root of 25 over 16. Well, the square root of 25 is 5. Square root of 16 is 4. It worked out kind of nice. So I end up with 1/4 plus 5/4, which is 6/4 over 3 over 2. And remember, when we divide fractions, we take the denominator and flip them. So I have 6/4 times 2/3. And that reduces down to 1. 3 goes into 6 2 times. 2 goes into 4 2 times. We're left with 2 over 2, which is 1. And then I have 1/4 minus 5/4 over 3. So I get a negative 4/4. And so that is my numerator. And then I multiply by the reciprocal, so I have 2/3. So I have -1 really by 2/3, and I end up with -2/3. And there's my solution set, lowest to highest. Okay, I hope that helps. I'll talk to you guys later.